concentration and attention, which is chapter 5 from the book An Actor's Guide, A Student's Diary. So before we begin, I'm going to read a passage just to get us through into the chapter and what we're going to be talking about. When the curtain was open, we were inhibited by the audience sitting out there in the darkness beyond the footlights. And when the curtain was closed, Tatsov and Ratmanov sitting in the same room inhibited us. And when we were alone, our fellow actors inhibited us by turning into an audience. And when I played for just myself alone, I became my own audience and inhibited myself as an actor. So whichever way you look at it, the audience is the obstacle. But even so, it is boring playing what I want. So basically what the students were saying is that they discovered as a class that the biggest obstacle was the audience. They called it the big black hole. Now, this is a problem because as an actor, you're always being watched. So what is the solution to this problem? Tatsov now comes with an object theory. He says that to divert your attention from what's going on in the big black hole, you find an object on stage and you focus on it. So with me, I have a table over there, so that would be my object. And this over here is my big black hole, being the camera. So to divert my attention from what's happening on camera or how I'm looking on camera, I would look at an object. He then introduces the immediate, the mid, and the distance focal point. So the immediate is obviously something that you catch on first, which is the table. I did that very quickly. So that's something that will grab your attention quickly and your eyes don't have to wander around looking for an object to grab on. And then there'll be the mid, that'll probably be the book on the table, and the distance will be something further like the window. And then Tatsov now introduces the circle of attention theory. So he says this is a big circle with a lot of objects in it. But so we have the small, the medium, and the large circle of attention. This is all in one circle. And he says the small circle of attention is the most gripping one. So because it's within the circle of attention and it's the smallest part of it, when you look at that object, you don't divert outside of the circle because there's so much more to look at on that circle. And then now he says concentration and imagination. So now that we've grasped the concept of outward concentration, now he says inward. So now you have to bring this back to yourself. Now this is inward concentration, which is happening in your head. So now instead of physically seeing the object, you see it in your head, and you now see this object in your head and you focus with the object in your head instead of finding a physical object to look at with your physical eye. He now explains the importance of being able to be in your head. He calls this public solitude. So you focus on this object in your head in a public space. So you could be on stage and there's so many people watching you, but you focus on what you're imagining in your head, and that's how you keep your attention and your concentration. Also teaches that fortunately many of our habits become reflex, and concentration becomes one of them. So concentration is a reflex. It's something that happens quickly. So if somebody would call your name or show you something, or something might happen on stage, you concentrate on that very quickly. So it's a reflex. But he says now train your concentration to be on a certain thing. So if I am on stage and I'm performing, I train my concentration to be on my imagination. So I imagine something and I concentrate on it. Say something happens in the auditorium, then I am not focused on that. Instead, I am focused on myself and my performance. Thank you.